Hello everyone. Yes, I am back. Lumberjack shirt is here, of course. Can't do with the edit. I was yesterday, so apologies. And the beard, obviously, is still always perfect. So today is kind of a light bulb moment for me. Uh, I've been going through this journey of finding the perfect role for me, moving back into more hardcore corporate rather than entrepreneurial. And I've been listening and reading to a lot of people that are on LinkedIn and also other social media feeds, and also some TV shows and YouTube. Obviously, there's supposed to be gurus in business and the world of today. And it's like I've taken multiple parts of it and using what I have been learning and my entrepreneurial stuff in the background, which I sort of took for granted what was happening in other companies, but obviously wasn't. My light bulb moment is no one's making decisions anymore. So let's kind of start with my rambling thoughts. And normally I'm quite scripted, but I'm going to just go off on tangents with just little markers for me to talk about. So I always talk about why I believe real toxic culture is, yes, of course, you get people that aren't friendly and managers that aren't friendly and owners of companies that aren't friendly and CEOs that aren't friendly. But that's not really the fundamental part of toxic culture. Toxic culture, I think, is a wrong word. I think it's just a bad company to work for multiple reasons. And what creates not good feeling and ill feeling within a company, in my opinion, is too many constraints. And the main constraints I've said before is too many key performance indicators. I know I spoke before about a retailer that I was a consultant for in the past. Their front of line sales staff of 20, I have to rephrase my number I used before. It's actually 21 KPIs. I thought I was told 28 because I'm still in contact with them. If you have 21 KPIs, how can you be selling to your customer? How can you be focused on making sure that your buyer or your consumer has the perfect journey from A to B? You're more concerned about ensuring you put the sticker in the right place after the sale than actually rather making the sale and giving the right information. And the more you grip your fingers, the more staff are going to slip through your fingers. No matter how big of an open office you have with lots of sunlight and multiple bean bags and free filtered water, it's still going to feel so constrained and it's going to cause bad feeling. And then because of hybrid and working from home, even more constraints. And there's a couple of companies I've spoken to that you have to fill a document in to prove you've filled a document in, which is your job. It's another form of constraint. It's another key performance indicator. It's just mind-boggling what people are doing. That's its main cause. If you remove most of that, trust me, everyone's going to be much more happy because they're going to be doing the job they're being paid to do. So there's two main things that seem to be around the world at the moment, and it's affecting uh, the recruitment industry quite heavily as well. Is people are not making decisions, or they're worried about making decisions, or leaders are not decision makers, they're followers. And this, I always say, to business is simple if you let it be. And what's happening is by being so have so many constraints, by having so many KPIs, and because the leaders of companies are not willing to put their feet out and make a business decision because they're so scared of getting it wrong and losing their job in this not toxic culture, that what's actually happening is it's making it even more complicated. People just need to just one of the things I say is makes me different to anyone else. Is I'm comfortable being uncomfortable at work. Part of being uncomfortable at work is making a decision. Just just do it. You know you're employed for a reason. You're employed because suppose you're good at what you do. Make a choice. And if it's wrong, because everybody makes mistakes, what makes a company good is not that they never make a mistake. So when they do make a mistake, it's rectified. What makes an employee up to a CEO good is they make mistakes, but when they make a mistake, it's rectified. Stop trying to never make a mistake because you're going to make them trying to not make them. You need to lead from the front. Don't lead from an Excel spreadsheet. It can only work for so long. It's only going to enable the company to get to a certain point. No matter how big you are, you still have direct reports. You need to be with them. There has to be an open line of communication where they know they can come to you. And so if they can't make a decision, they need a mentor and you make a decision together. So I've spent some time outside of what people call the mainline corporate world. running my own company, or companies plural, but main one, up to 17 years I've actually been in operation until I sold it. And I just took for granted that leaders of businesses make a decision, they make a choice. You talk to me, I talk to you. There is an issue, let's fix it, and we do it, and we come to a decision. Or we want to grow some more business. Well, what do? Let's get the whiteboard out, let's draw a picture, let's put some timelines in. What can we do? And let's make a choice, and then we actually go do it. This over reliance on, I wouldn't call it artificial intelligence, because it's not any form of intelligence. It's because of non-cognitive recall, so it can't be any form of intelligence. It's a database retrieval with a posh name, and then we're reliant on big data, which you could be actually buying data sets externally, so you don't even know if they're real information or not, which is even more crazy. People are reliant on systems making their choices for them, so they're scared to make a decision. So, for example, people are getting less intelligent because they're reliant on Google to answer questions for them. Well, it's exactly the same. If you don't use your own cognitive thought all the time, if you are not constantly making choices, using your own brains to know what's next best, and you're using AI and data, or a computer system, then no one's going to make a choice. Which thing brings me back to what I think was happening now. I've gone through so many processes with the recruitment world, is that recruitment managers, hiring managers, and recruitment agencies, it's extremely time consuming with masses of data. And especially if you're a hiring manager, you're no longer not hiring for what's best for the company. You're hiring for what fits the brief. And anyone who's even written a brief knows that a brief is not really what gets the job done. It's a bunch of wants and an explanation about the company. And when I've ever interviewed someone for any roles in my company, I did write a brief, and I've actually had external help writing briefs, and it was never what I wanted. It was roughly what I wanted. I want someone to come into my company to fit this role that's going to make my company grow. I don't want someone to come in that's going to fit all the holes and pegs in the right order, because those pegs and holes change. So I think this is a lack of leadership, is all I can think it is, and too many constraints. So again, hiring managers, they're just filling holes, because if the job, if they bring someone on board or recommend someone, or even the board recommends someone to become a new CEO, they're going to do it based on a brief, because they're going to say, well, we followed what we were told to do, and it didn't work out. That's not our fault, because we followed what this set of things are. I just, that's my opinion. That's what it is. That's all I can think of, and I'm going to think about it more over the next couple of days or weeks. But I think we should be making choices now, not reliant on systems. So that's my ramble for today, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye bye.